Hey folks, Crazy Climber 80 here again, and this time we're going to look at a game called Tutankham. This was created by Konami and licensed to Stern in 1982, and this is of course based on the famous pharaoh. His name is actually spelled different from the way they spell it in the game. It's supposed to be spelled, I guess, Tutankham, and they left off the UN just because it would take too much time to, I guess, remeasure the font or whatever. But this was also an Atari 2600 game, and I used to own that. It wasn't very good, but I still played it a lot. But the pharaoh Tutankham ruled from 1332 to 1323 BC, and he died at the age of 18. He wasn't murdered, he was just very sick. But he was mostly known, or renowned, because of his incredibly well-preserved tomb. But there was a famous exhibition of King Tut's relics in the 1970s, and maybe that's kind of what this game is hot on the heels of. But you are an explorer, and your goal is to collect keys to open the gate at the very end. And if there's only one gate, then you only need one key. And when you open the gate, you get a treasure of King Tutankham. But there are various enemies that attack you. There's bats, there's snakes, all sorts of critters that'll come after you. And you have a laser, or I guess it's a gun, shot that can fire only left and right. If you move up while trying to fire it, it won't work. I mean, it'll fire left or right, but not up or down. And there was a key I collected. This game has nice sound effects. I like them very much. But the difficulty is just flat out unfair at times. I first remember seeing this, I think, in a Thriftway grocery store that was not far from my house back in the day. And there I get the first treasure, which is a map. But there are 4 levels, and they will repeat once you beat them all, with additional difficulty. There will be warp areas, and you'll be able to identify what they are. The enemies come out of a certain spot. You will see a little cloud appear before the enemies come out of there. And there was the key again. You'll be able to see there are also other treasures you can collect, which grow incrementally in point value. But there will be multiple warp areas like there. The bats are the biggest pain in the butt early in the game because they're much faster. It's hard to discern many of the enemies' movement patterns, but if you can, that can really help you. But on this level, I need to get 2 keys. Oops. Well, that was nice. Sometimes you can take out 2 enemies in one shot. But yeah, if you try to open the door... shit. If you try to open the door and you don't have a key, you'll just bump into the door and nothing will happen. But yeah, those bats are a bit of a pain. And sometimes a ton of enemies will come out of that one spot where they emerge from. And they'll just keep coming and coming and coming, and they might move a little bit faster. You just have to wait it out. Eventually, you will get to pass through. There will be a little break in the action. Eventually. And you have a magic lamp, which allows you to blow up all the enemies on the screen at once. but you only get one per life. You don't get another when you get to the next level, and you don't get another when you gain an extra life through points. And it's really stupid and really unfair. See, at the beginning of the level, there's a bunch of enemies coming out right after another from this one central point. And now we're facing jackals. I think that's what they are. The fourth level will have a couple new enemies, and we'll look at that a little bit later. But it sucks. They just keep coming and coming and coming, and you have to wait for a break in the action. Like there. But yeah, don't forget, you can only shoot left and right. So when you move up or down, you are a sitting duck. Unless you have a magic lamp in reserve. And you can't, like I said, you can only have one per life. So you can't, like, collect lamps and keep them in reserve. If you try to collect another key, while you already have one, it won't happen. You'll just run into the key and you won't pick it up. You don't score a whole lot in this game, especially from killing enemies. So the major source of points is from collecting treasures. Well, there's one door opened. And you get an extra life at 30,000. Yeah, this game is just unfairly hard at times. I wasn't a huge fan of it, but I really do like the sound effects. Sound effects are very good, and the musical interludes that they play here and there are very good too, which is to be expected from Konami. They've always been very good with their music. Ah, crap. But yeah, with each new life you have, you will get another lamp. And don't forget to use it. I've never beaten all 4 stages. Hell, this might be the first time I've gotten to the 3rd stage. I can't remember. I was never very good at this in the arcade. You are timed, and if you run out of time, you die. But the time is pretty generous, and it resets, I believe, when you die. Yeah, those bats are a real pain in the ass. If you can, try to master the art of, like, when you rise past, or move past an enemy gate, try to master the art of, of shooting a shot right as one emerges. And again, if you can kind of discern some of the enemy's movement patterns, that might help you in this game. That is Tutankham by Konami and licensed to Stern in 1982. I remember seeing this at multiple arcades, and like I said, the first place I saw it was at a grocery store, you know, within like maybe a mile and a half from my house when I, you know, back in the day. Now we will look, there's me uncovering the 3rd treasure, and it's a treasure chest. But yeah, there's a big deal about Tutankam's treasures in an art museum. I put on invincibility and infinite keys in this part of the gameplay. Now you see there's parrots, I guess. There are parrots, and there's these weird, very, very fast, they look like colorful swastikas. I don't know what they're supposed to be, but that's what they look like. But this is the 4th and final stage, and then they all repeat with additional keys that you have to collect. There might be levels where you have to collect like 4 keys to open 4 doors. And then the bats are so much faster. So the game really goes crazy with the challenge from that point. But yeah, this game's a little too hard, too unfair, especially when you're trying to wait for a break, when all the enemies are just coursing out of a little enemy hatchery like this, and you have to wait forever for a break, which sucks. Yeah, see, I have infinite keys, and now I get the, I guess the sarcophagus of King Tut. Yeah, King Tut really got a revived interest in the 1970s, and Steve Martin made an appearance with his goofy song King Tut on Saturday Night Live. And here is a trick in Track and Field, the arcade game. If in the 100-meter dash, both you and the opponent finish with the exact same time, the explorer from Tutankham will make an appearance. And of course, Track and Field was made by Konami and licensed to Century. See, there he is, and you get a 1,000 point bonus.
11.44%.
Well, that was Tutankham by Konami and licensed to Stern in 1982. Well, this is Crazy Clown Radio saying thanks for watching Tutankham by Konami and licensed to Stern in 1982. I will see you soon with another video. Y'all have a good one, everybody, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.